Hey, welcome back to A-Aron Reacts, and we're back for more Angelina Jordan. Now, this is a request from my membership site, a-aronreacts.com/angels. Consider joining that and get special requests. In particular, it says, I can't remember if I already requested this, but I really hope you do this song, as it brilliantly highlights Angelina's ethereal emotive power, particularly in her changes of emotion between the positive and the negative part of the song's lyrics. So thank you for that request. If you go away. Now, this song is originally No Me Quitte Pas from Jacques Brel, and I was not familiar with that original version. So I went and actually listened to it, and definitely check that out. Now, if you're a member, you'll get this released early before everybody else. And that link may not be there yet, but when I publish this live, it will. So, look out for that. But definitely, even if you don't follow anybody but Angelina, check that one out because that is fantastic. That said, I did look at Nina Simone's No Me Quitte Pas, as well as I went back to, If You Go Away from several others, right? And I have a little bit of notes for my takeaways from those here. Let's hold off on that to see kind of how she interprets it and see, who she most resembles or which influences she may grab from as she does this. But this is If You Go Away. Let's jump right to it.
Okay, I wanted to make this super quick recording, which I'm not even using my regular camera or anything, but just had a quick moment to insert this here. So I've got a note on promotions. We need your help. And so Toby Gad, and I'm reading some of this, so apologies, but super important message. Reached out to a few angels by email asking for help to request radio stations in the U.S. to play Bad Valentine and run up to Valentine's Day. He's done interviews recently with 5 commercial U.S. radio stations, and that was the initial list he gave us. Angels started requesting the song, but the numbers apparently got too large, and Toby's team has asked that we limit the request to 2 per day per station and start contacting some of the 300 college radio stations to request the song. They provided a great resource with all the contact information. But his team also asked that we coordinate amongst ourselves to meet the 2 requests per day target and to keep them informed. This is what we're organizing to do now. We'll be publishing this link shortly for angels to sign up. So I'm going to be providing a link to a form for you to join. Please check the list and pick 1, 2, 5, or 10 college stations and start requesting. It's okay to submit requests once a day between now and February 14th. And one quick note, I literally just got this. I'm messaging back and forth that, a few last minute requests, especially on Valentine's Day, might go a long way. So if we're just in time with this as you get it, please go ahead and try to contribute. It all helps and will make a big difference. So thank you.
Closes her eyes, gets into that element.
If you go away on a summer day, then you might as well take the sun away. All the birds that flew in the summer sky when our love was new and our hearts were high, when the day was young and the night was alone, and the moon stood still to the night bird's song. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. But if you stay, I'll make you a day like no days have been or will be again. We'll sail on the sun, ride on the rain. We'll talk to the trees and worship the wind. But if you go, I'll understand. Leave me just enough love to fill up my hand. if you go away, if you go away, if you go away, if you go away, as I know you must, there'll be nothing left in the world to trust, just an empty room full of empty space, like the empty look I see on your face. Can I tell you now, as I turn to go, I'll be dying slow till your next hello. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away. But if you stay, I'll make you night like no night has been or will be again. I sail on your smile, I'll ride on your touch, I'll talk to your eyes that I love so much. But if you go, I won't cry, for the good has gone, for the word goodbye. If you go away, if you go away, if you go away, if you go away.
Oh.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, oh my. So, let's start with the end. Right at the beginning, she has this smile and, is interacting with the camera, being a, fun-loving girl, and she ends as well the same way. Bye. And she flips into character in the song and then immediately back out of it. That is remarkable. And as if that isn't enough. I have her at age 12 for this, and that seems about right based on what I'm seeing. For a 12-year-old to be able to encapsulate so many different emotions and feelings in a heartbeat, right? The requester talked about from the happy and sad transitions especially, but I think it's even more than that, right? The point when she said, and I know you must go, it became remorseful. It became just, truly almost regret, right? It became sadness. Whereas she retained some of that original Jacques Brel, pleading almost, almost begging, to groveling, if you will, to not go. And then, yes, she turned it on and turned it up. Completely different characters, painting this beautiful picture of if you stay. Unbelievable. And so, what does this sound like most, or, what about the other versions? First of all, this is completely her own interpretation. There's nobody else this sounds like. I think she might have culled certain aspects from other artists. I think it most closely resembles the Frank Sinatra version, at least in those that I've heard. I think that, his, mostly sad, loneliness, interpretation for it, and then, switching, is most appropriate. There's a, Shirley Bassey version, which is just powerful, expressive, just letting it all out there, right? I did write some notes on it. Torturous, emotional, powerful. And then, the Neil Diamond version is a little bit more poppy, but also you feel tumultuous, like it's turning and dynamically changing a bit. Definitely worth a listen to. And then finally, I did the Helen Merrill and Stan Getz, which actually I was somewhat familiar with this. I had remembered it, but she sounds lovely, by the way. I wasn't familiar with her, but it's extremely sentimental, very soft spoken, right? And you're just reflecting. And then also Nina Simone, as I mentioned in the beginning, she does it in French, the Ne me quittez pas version, and she does her typical, huge pauses and expressiveness. But quite honestly, it didn't quite hit me the same way Jacques Brel did. Which is atypical of Nina Simone because she's so dang powerful. Of course, it was a wonderful rendition, but it's hard to compete with Jacques Brel's version. I'm telling you, go watch that. Maybe I'll link to it a second time if I remember here. But I still can't. And we didn't even talk about her singing, her vocals, right? We talked about her performance, but we didn't even talk about her vocals. Once again, she demonstrates such depth and clarity to her voice, so much power in the lower range. And this is that sad, minor portion of the song, right? And then it switches to relative major, I believe. I haven't actually looked at the chordal structure, but I think that's the case. And she's in that lower range. Now, granted, the melody is written that way. It does go up, but it suits her really well because it becomes almost a little bit haunting, right? And her emotions, you see her closing her eyes, you see her reflecting. In fact, with the other piece I talked about, that if you must go, you saw her looking off to the side. So she has not just body language but facial expressions in character that truly deeply understand the movements of this song, right? And then when she gets to the upper range and the happy part, if you will, which I don't know that, the requester called it happy. I'm not sure I would call it happy. I feel like it's dreamy, wishful, right? Hopeful. So yes, there's elements of happy, but it's not like the happy ending. It's the portrayal. It's the trying to convince the other person that this world exists. So I don't know that I would necessarily personally call it happy, but it's definitely more of a happy sentiment, and the melody and the chordal structure match that. And she takes it, she's up into her upper range there, her upper register, and you hear her being much more light with her note choice and singing and selections. And, we even hear a deliberate, almost vocal crack in there a couple times with her note. And she's doing more bending of the notes and she's playing with it I'm almost imagining a couple holding hands frolicking through a park as she's singing it. That's the portrayal she's giving me with this. And then right back to, the sad, remorseful, if you go away, which I know you must do. And again, she takes that in a different direction. Just such mastery and understanding, such emotional depth, such vocal maturity, just such confidence at such a young age. It's unreal. Every time I continue to be floored, and this is no exception. Well done. I think I'll leave it at that. Consider joining us over at a-aronreacts.com/angels, which for the higher level membership level, I think at the moment as I make this, I think there's 7 or 8 videos in there, and I'll be growing that up to probably about 10 this week that haven't yet been seen publicly. But I know that's not for everybody, but I do want to make sure you're aware of it, and that also, this request came from that membership group, and almost all of them do, with the exception of, especially around the holidays, I interjected some of my own viewings, and also I want to continue to keep track on going to the earlier years, and I'll be starting that journey again after I get completely caught up on these requests. So definitely looking forward to that. But regardless, please comment on this video. Let me know what you thought of this. How many? Let's do something different. How many times have you heard this video? Take a guess, right? If it's if it's hundreds, or if it's 5, or if this is only the first time, whatever. Let me know. And go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you much.